I'm bored. So yeah, today this is gonna be very opinionated. But I'm talking about my top 3 shows, and if they're not in at least your top 20, you're a little delusional. My top 3 shows are Arcane, AOT, and Fullmetal Alchemist. AOT, I think what it draws a lot of people to it is the fact that it's very apocalyptic and dystopian, but in a different way. It's not like zombies. It's not like a virus. Well, spoilers, kind of, but not really. But it's just giant naked people. But like because of the lack of technology, the way they handle it in the show, like the way they handle the apocalypse, is just so much more different and so much more interesting. But full spoilers, I think the main meat of the show is the fact that like it's a representation of our world. How like cycling hatred isn't gonna remove the hatred. Like it also shows how like history can constantly be repeated and how history can constantly be a justification of why things happen. Kind of like our world. And I think that's why I like it so much because it reflects how our world is just so much. Now Arcane, I've played League, so I knew how the characters would end up by the end of the show, or at least somewhere around where they end up. But it's just so interesting to see how they end up and seeing it all just unfold in my eyes. On top of that, Arcane like just shows how like different people from different paths can just meet up and how things can happen between them, like circumstances. And it also shows how like, for example, Jinx and Vi, how despite living under the same goddamn roof, how different they are, how different things have happened, and how different things where they end up in life. On top of that, Arcane just has disgustingly loads of foreshadowing. Just like AOT, I forgot to list that point for AOT. But both those shows have disgustingly good foreshadowing that you wouldn't even know until you rewatched it. Also, Arcane just has this like weird element. Maybe it is the foreshadowing, but it just has this thing where like the puzzle pieces just fucking fall into place all together. Like I know this was in production for 5 years, but holy fucking shit, the way things just collapse on each other and they like look like a fucking beautiful mosaic puzzle by the end of it, like holy, how did they make that? On top of that, it has some of the most unique sorts of animation blending in like 2D and 3D. I think I think it's just phenomenal all around. Now, me personally, sorry, personalized list. I don't see how you can hate Arcane or AOT, but you know, some people have their points and opinions. That's fair. But for Fullmetal Alchemist, if you do not like Fullmetal Alchemist, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. What? Fullmetal Alchemist is like that perfect gift. Like it's a nicely bowed up fucking in a box kind of gift, like the traditional like Christmas kind of gift looking. That's what Fullmetal Alchemist is. Jesus Christ. The plot, fights, animation, the build up, it's all there. Just and it's like AOT, how it reflects our world, how like the government's corrupt, blah blah blah. I'm not gonna get in that show, but it's just so it's I wouldn't say it's simple, but I feel like it's a simpler show compared to Arcane and AOT, but it's just so well done. How everything is just put together and just everything is so interconnected and it just makes sense. Like the way all the characters become born by the end of it and the way they all just work together is so goddamn peak. And I think another important thing about storytelling that all these 3 shows have is a good ass villain. Like, oh my god.